Billboard put out their top 10 rap albums of all time.
They did.
Top 100.
Oh,
It was top 100.
it was 100. Excuse me. I was just looking at the top 10. I
Okay.
apologize.
You got LASIK?
Yes, I do.
Okay. That was the end.
They still work.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna read the top 10.
I like the list. Minus one or two places.
10 is Slick Rick, Great Adventures of Slick Rick.
Okay.
9 is Jay-Z, Blueprint.
Okay.
8 is Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full. 7 is Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style. 6 is Pac, All Eyes on Me. 5 is Biggie, Life After Death. 4 is Outkast, Aquemini. 3 is Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. 2 is The Chronic, and 1 is Illmatic.
Not mad at it. I don't know if Lauryn Hill qualifies as a hip hop album.
Yeah,
It doesn't to me.
Particularly.
Y'all
It
know,
doesn't.
I'm all talking
I think they
about
could have took the Lauryn Hill as a hip hop album out.
Yeah.
I think
Y'all mute up. Fuck out of here. Jersey, nigga. We did it. That's it.
You know how I feel about
every time
Jersey,
Lauren name come up, we got to do
Nah,
that.
we-
Oh, was it R&B?
No,
It's not
we.
hip-hop.
I champion.
Whatever that album is,
I champion that shit.
it's one of the best in wherever you're going to put it. So if they're choosing to put it in hip-hop, then you got to fight with that. You got to play who's in front of you. It's there.
That's true.
So genre we can argue about. The greatness of that album we cannot.
True.
I'm probably a fan of the second Chronic more than the first Chronic.
The
Me
impact
too.
of the first
The
one was
impact was
different,
different.
though.
The
Yeah.
impact was different.
Hey,
Impact
I don't have a
definitely was.
problem with it. I'm nitpicking. I like that list.
I would take Blueprint
I'm not
off.
mad at that list. Oh, no, Blueprint goes
Yeah,
there.
that stays there.
Yeah, see.
I was trying to argue
I like
for it
Reasonable
to
Doubt.
even be a little higher.
It should be high. I would put Reasonable Doubt there, and take Blueprint off for me, and I would push it up.
I'm assuming Reasonable Doubt was on the list.
I'm sure it was
Like-
probably not.
On a
far
list of
off.
100,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
But in the top 10, I'm going
criteria.
Blueprint for Jay-Z's best and most cohesive project.
I would have Doggy Style higher. It's personal, but that album is that is the number one. And I would have Good Kid, Mad City in this list somewhere, and in the top 10.
That's probably 11.
In the top 10 for me, it would be top 10.
What would you take out?
Oh, that's easy. Number 3 is gone for me.
Oh, Lauren.
Yeah,
What other one would you take out?
I would put it higher than Great Adventures of Slick Rick, and I love that album. But Good Kid, Mad City. It looks like these albums here are all older albums.
For sure.
That's my thing about it. And sometimes you get to feel like the older albums can't be moved. I disagree with that. I think there can be an album that's come out in the last, let's say, 10, 15 years that can pass some of those older greats that we have.
Yeah, but you just added the word great. These albums are not there just because they're old.
No, I'm saying, but when people do these lists, they usually list the
Give me the
Great albums.
other 4 albums outside of Good Kid, Mad City that you think have an argument in this. The current crop.
in the top 10.
Yeah. Don't have to be there just for argument's sake.
Show these niggas.
That's hard.
That's hard.
Good
And
Kid,
why-
Mad City
and maybe
is one.
Maybe something within the last 10
Teflon
years.
Don, maybe, I would say.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Get Rich or Die Trying. Take Care.
TM 101. Take Care. Like, we talking impact with albums and stuff. 'cause
Carter
some of the stuff
2
is only
or
up here for
3.
impact.
3 maybe, but
3.
I still don't see it dethroning that 10 because
Just a combo to have.
yeah.
Just
The
a combo
Carter
to have.
3, Get Rich.
But what tends to happen, like I said, with a lot of these lists is it's almost like a cutoff point. Anything made afterwards don't even have the
Get Rich
the
is better than The
possibility
Great Adventures of Slick Rick.
to make top 10.
Not for me, but
Not for me either, but
Get Rich is
I
better.
wouldn't argue it. I wouldn't argue it at all.
Is Get Rich better than Good Kid? Is that our Good
They're
Kid?
close. They're close to me.
They are close.
For me.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's just close. That's it. We don't have to
Yeah.
decide.
Yeah, it's close,
just
it's
close.
close.
Let's not make ourselves the enemy.
No.
Do you,
By picking one.
do you guys like the fact that Nas is number 1?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that at all.
That's personal for me. I have it was written higher than Illmatic, so I would never have Illmatic as number 1 ever in a Nas discography argument. Forget all time albums, but again, with these albums, I do respect and understand what Illmatic did. It's also an impact thing. So a person's best album don't have to be their classic.
That's true.
Or their greatest
Yeah,
album.
Nas's best album is not his greatest album.
Right. There's a couple artists like that. I say that about Jeezy all the time. Jeezy's classic album is TM 101. But if I was to say what Jeezy's best album, cohesive top to bottom, is Recession.
It's hard to get Illmatic out of here because Impact one. Two, how many songs? It's 9 songs?
9 real songs.
It's
10
like
with the intro.
It's 9 of those. He didn't have to get into 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's 9 of a great, from every great producer at the time, the timeless producers, the ones that Preem and fucking Pete Rock and fucking
Q-Tip
and
it's those guys, like the greatest of the great. So yeah, I'm not gonna argue.
You can't
against
And
Illmatic
see, that's how I feel
as the
about
greatest hip hop album.
and that's how I feel about Teflon Don.
It's not
I'm
even
just
close.
saying, in terms of albums,
It's not even close.
It's not even the same.
And I love Teflon Don.
Me too,
just-
but it ain't even in the conversation.
for a person where Illmatic album never did it for me. I'm speaking for myself here. There are a lot of albums that I would prefer to listen to over Teflon. I mean, over Illmatic. Even in Nas's discography alone, that album just didn't do it for me. And there's a lot of people that feel that way. I'm not alone in this, but there are those
but
who
I
feel
feel
it's a
like
classic, and that's just what it is.
Nah, I'm not letting y'all get that off right now.
There's nothing
There's
to
a
get
lot
off.
of people that I'm not letting you get that off right
There's
now.
nothing to get off, Joe.
You in the 90s were a fan of Crucial Conflict and Master P and just some other people. So
Yeah.
your opinion is valid to you. But to bring it up right this second and say, yes, a lot of people that feel like me. Yeah, true, but Nas changed the way a lot of people made music for the rest of the 90s.
Yo, dog,
Yeah.
I remember.
Still to this day.
remember what Halftime did.
Not
A
the
lot of-
people that
I was
you
outside.
listen
I was just going to say he changed the way a lot of New York made music.
Not
for
just
the
New
90s.
York,
Not just New York.
but not just New York.
Okay, who else? Tell me outside of New York. Give me some people.
Prior
that
to
Nas
Illmatic,
changed.
people didn't use multiple producers on one album very often, if ever. And if there was, there might be 2 producers. That concept in itself is revolutionary.
Okay.
Let me get all the hottest producers right now and put them on an album.
Bro, you
It's
talking about
revolutionary in itself.
the early '90s where New York
New
was
York
still,
producers, right?
I'm talking about in
I'm just
general,
asking.
everybody.
But those are New York producers?
Yes, they are.
Yes.
And at that
But that's
time,
a
New York was
trend
still the
that went-
mecca.
New York
of
is the
hip-hop.
mecca of hip hop, and when Nas came out, he was the golden boy
Yep.
of hip hop.
I agree with that.
Like for the
I am
next
agreeing
4 or
with that.
5 years, that nigga was on every single hip hop album that came out. G-Rap, Wu-Tang, Ghost, Ray, like he was on every album that came out for the next 5 or 6 years. He was it.
I have no argument to that, Ish. None.
And in terms of longevity, I'm not sure that we can find another hip hop album that gets repackaged, fucking
Reasonable Doubt
introduced
and one of the
and
big
bigged up.
albums. Yeah.
But that's a him.
That nigga
thing. That don't-
redefined storytelling for the rest of eternity. With one album. Yes, I know it happened before him. I know it happened before him.
It's different.
He changed it.
Yeah, it's different. And y'all know I'm not the biggest Nas fan. I didn't remotely blink at that shit being number 1.
Yeah.
That shit is.
Yeah, I guess
ain't
that's
even
what
on
I'm
my
trying to
list.
say. I feel like
That shit
even the biggest Nas hater can see Illmatic at number 1 and just go on about his day.
Like it was nothing.
Oh no! I completely
That's what I'm trying to
understand why people feel the way they feel. I'm just saying I disagree with it personally. I'm not mad at it. If I
And
were
what
to
would
do
you
that
have had
list,
number 1?
Doggy Style is number 1 for
Doggy
me.
Style. Got it.
Not bad
Always.
at that either.
And then It Was Written as number 2 for me, and then probably Good Kid, Mad City.
Okay, I'm not mad.
Hey.
Neutral button.